Alright racists, let's talk about the part of history you like to tout the most, Black inventions. And along with those inventions comes the receipts. Racist America has pretended for far too long that black people haven't created or invented most things, if not every single thing we use daily. They like to pretend that the toolbox of life just appeared out of nowhere, or that it was gifted by some default white guy. Then they act shocked every single time a black indigenous American shows up in the patent record. This pattern in history of gaslighting and erasure ends now. So why don't we break the spell with a hit list of under-referenced Black American inventors, whose work you touch, hear, and rely on every single day, whether you say their names or not. This is what I call the not-so-familiar list. James E. West co-invented the electret microphone in 1962. That tiny capsule in smartphones, laptops, hearing aids, and almost every modern mic, brought to you by a black man, James West. George Edward Alcorn Jr. built the imaging X-ray spectrometer in 1984 that sharpened space and materials research. NASA named him Inventor of the Year. Translation, he built the instruments that actually see what the naked eye can't. Black brilliance. Meredith Gourdine pioneered electro-gas dynamics, devices like incinerate cut smoke and industrial pollution. He engineered the actual physics. David N. Crosswaite Jr., architect of modern HVAC controls for big buildings. He has 39 U.S. patents, some of which include heating systems for Radio City Music Hall as well as Rockefeller Center. So when you visit these places, your climate comfort is running on David's math. Walter Lincoln Hawkins created durable polymer cable sheathing so telephone lines could survive the sun and harsh weather. Otis Boykin designed precision resistors that stabilized consumer electronics and pacemaker controls. George Carruthers invented the far ultraviolet camera / spectrograph used on Apollo 16 to image Earth's atmosphere and interstellar space. When science looked farther, it used George's instrument. Jerry Lawson led the team behind the interchangeable video game cartridge, the truest pioneer to console gaming. Jesse Russell was the key architect of digital cellular systems and base station tech. He laid the groundwork for the networks that your phone lives on. Marion Croak is the holder of 200 plus patents in voice over IP and internet call tech. So as far as internet calling as a service, she operationalized the pipeline. Valerie Thomas, the pioneer behind the Illusion Transmitter 3D image tech at NASA. Bessie Blount Griffin, inventor of the self-feeding device used for amputees and a disposable emesis basin. It's a clinical design that restored autonomy to its users in this country. Then it spread internationally. Alice H. Parker created the 1919 patent for a gas-fired centrally zoned heating furnace. She also planted the seed ideas for modern home heating segmentation. Miriam E. Benjamin, in 1888, created the gong and signal chair, a call button system predating hotel service alerts. The start of push to summon was formulated by her genius. Andrew J. Beard invented the Jenny coupler in 1897, which is an automated, dangerous link and pin rail coupling. His work improved freight efficiency and worker safety. Philip B. Downing created the street letterbox in 1891 with a weather shielding door for mail drop-off. Yes, a black man created the mailbox. John Stannard. In 1891, he invented the non-electric refrigerator and compact oil stove, the pioneer of non-electric appliances. Richard B. Spikes. He iterated the automatic gear shift and most automotive safety systems. Lloyd Hall. He advanced food preservation, using safer curing salts, using spice sterilization, and antioxidants. He created the industry-level shelf life. So what was the point to all of this? Reality reads like this list. Black Americans were already here, already building, and already creating everything. Designing the microphones inside your phone, the networks under your techs, the heat in your building, the optics in your space science, the cartridges that built an entire gaming industry, the clinical tools that dignify autonomous care, and the dull metal boxes swallowing your mail on the corner. Erasing the creativity and the genius of the original people isn't accidental. It's an act of violence. You can keep pretending you invented everything, sure. Or you can look around, call things what they are, and stop living on lies. Pretending to be superior in technology and a spiritual power you can't even use. The entire world can see the limitations of racists. The big question is, however, why can't you?
I actually did not know anything about Black women inventors, but I do now. Marie Van Britten Brown invented the home security system because in 1966 she was like, I live in America. Alice Ball cured leprosy, then a white man took the credit. Of course, Dr. Patricia Bath invented a laser tool to remove cataracts. She was also the first Black female physician to receive a medical patent. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenner invented the sanitary belt, which later became the pad, and companies literally rejected her because she was Black. Marjorie Joyner made the permanent wave machine. It helped Black women, it helped white women, and then it helped the world. Did she get rich? Absolutely not. Sarah Boone created the modern ironing board. She was born enslaved, and before Sarah, people only used planks. Valerie Thomas invented a 3D illusion transmitter. It's used for medical imaging and television. She worked at NASA, and they still use her technology today. Dr. Shirley Jackson worked on caller ID, call waiting, and touch-tone phones, so you could ignore people more efficiently. She was also the first Black woman to earn a doctorate from MIT. Sarah Good invented the fold-out bed. It used to transform into a desk. She was the first African-American woman to receive a U.S. patent. Marion Croak developed voice-over internet protocol. She literally made the internet talk. She holds 200 patents, and I hold grudges. Thank you.
They don't teach. They want you to believe America's biggest shoe story is Nike. But the real one started with a Black man they buried. His name was Jan Matzeliger. In the 1880s, shoes were luxury items. Most poor families couldn't afford a single pair. But Jan was different. He built machines with his bare hands. Here's the part they don't teach. He invented the shoe-lasting machine, the device that made shoes cheap enough for everyone. United Shoe Company grabbed his patent and made millions. But Jan, he never saw the wealth. He died young, poor, and forgotten. Think about that. Every shoe industry giant, from Nike to Adidas, stands on a foundation built by a Black inventor whose name got erased. Jan's brilliance made billions for others, yet his legacy never made it into your school books. They celebrated the brands, not the man who made them possible. Why do we remember corporations, but not the Black genius who started it all? And how many other inventions changed the world without giving us credit? Comment. John, if you believe his name should be said louder than Nike, follow for more untold stories of Black excellence in history.
The reason I say white Americans have no culture is because most of the things that have become associated with white people were Black inventions. White people love vanilla, but did you know that vanilla was actually invented by an enslaved Black teenager who was 14 years old? His name was Edmund Albius. He's the person who made vanilla a mass-produced product because he figured out how to rapidly pollinate these plants. Or number two, if you've ever heard of techno music, that was actually invented by Black people in Detroit in the 80s, which now has become synonymous with a lot of white people in the US or white Europeans, when actually in reality this was purely the creation of a Black person and Black people. Or number three, the thing that I think of a lot is how white people have co-opted barbecue. Specifically in California, where I grew up, you will see a lot of barbecue joints that were actually white people's recipes that they stole from Black people. It's very much a ripoff of the common Southern home cooking, which, you know, came out of the American South, both during slavery and during the Reconstruction era. So yes, white people don't have any culture, we steal it. And that has historically been the case, and that is why white people are so angry. You know any other inventions created by Black people but stolen by white people? Drop them in the comments. Okay, bye!
These women changed the world, but history gave their credit to others. The last one will shock you. Patricia Bath. In 1986, she invented the laser phaco probe, revolutionizing cataract surgery and restoring sight to millions. The first Black woman doctor with a US medical patent, yet her name is rarely taught. Annie Malone. By 1910, she built a hair care empire, trained thousands of women, and became one of the first Black millionaires. But history buried her legacy. Bessie Blount Griffin, World War II nurse and inventor, who created feeding devices for wounded soldiers. When America rejected her work, she sold her patents to France, erased at home, celebrated abroad. Alice Ball, at just 23, she developed the first effective treatment for leprosy. Her discovery saved lives worldwide, but her male supervisor tried to claim the credit. Henrietta Lacks, in 1951, her cells were taken without consent. Those HeLa cells became the foundation of modern medicine, vaccines, cancer treatments, even COVID research, while her family never saw justice. Their brilliance was buried, but their impact is eternal. Drop a comment if their name...
Africa isn't underdeveloped, it's overexploited. So the idea that Africans have never invented anything is simply white supremacy. So here are a list of inventions that come from Africa. Ancient Egypt, they got the first surgical tools, surgical instruments like the scalpels, forceps, and the sutures, writing system, 3200 BC. We have both the hieroglyphics from Egypt and the Meterotic script from Nubia. First university over in Timbuktu, Mali, 12th century. Over 25,000 students studied astronomy, mathematics, and law here, with a librarian who wrote 700 books by hand. First mathematics system, ancient Egypt, 2000 BC. The Rhine mathematical papyrus featured algebra, geometry, and fractions. By the way, these were used to build the pyramids, so unfortunately it was not the aliens. Africans just got the sauce like that. First iron smelting, the Nok culture of Nigeria, 500 BC. Iron tools revolutionized agriculture and warfare centuries before Europe's Iron Age. First cataract surgery. First star maps by the Dogon people of Mali had cosmology that predated Western telescopes by centuries. First antibiotic, Nubia, 300 CE. The invention was tetracycline in Nubian beer. First solar calendar over in Egypt, 5000 BCE. The Nabta Playa, the world's earliest astronomical calendar, older than Stonehenge. It predicted monsoons and guided agriculture in the Sahara. It wasn't just iron. Advanced metallurgy of the Haya people of Tanzania developed preheating techniques for steel production. Their furnaces reached temperatures of 1800 Celsius, centuries before the Bessemer process in Europe. Urban plumbing in ancient Zimbabwe, 1100 CE. The kingdom of Mapambumbwe already had engineered drainage systems that predated Roman aqueduct. Neurosurgical trepanation. Yeesh! Special shout out to the first board game, Sonnet, played in ancient Egypt. You could actually still play this game today. You can literally buy it over on Amazon. Last but not least, ancient Egypt had the world's first Karen. The world's first complaint. I'm tired of doing business with you. You have been the worst merchant I have dealt with. I'll tell all my friends not to purchase ware from you anymore. When it comes to SaaS, I guess it's confirmed. It started in Africa.
Everything in this country was invented by a black man. Donald Trump said it himself. Check it out.
We must put America first. This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything.
The only thing he left out of that sentence that it was invented by black men. We invented everything. I get that.
Black man invented the stoplight. White man invented a ticket. Black man invented the light bulb. White man invented electric bill.
Black man invented the telephone. White man invented the telephone bill.
Here are 15 black inventors that you should have heard of, coming to you live from the National Inventors Hall of Fame. We're going to kick things off with Marie Van Britten Brown, the woman who was ADT and Ring before ADT and Ring ever existed. In the 1960s, as a nurse in New York, she was fascinated with electronic products, and her husband happened to work in the electronics industry, so she got her hands on some closed-circuit television cameras. And what she did was create a home security system, complete with that closed-circuit camera, remote door locks, panic buttons to the fire and police department. She could remotely lock and unlock her door, and she received a patent for this.
George Washington Murray was born into slavery in 1853 in South Carolina, and he actually served in Congress. He was the only African American in the 53rd and 54th Congress. But he was also an inventor, and he held 8 patents in farming and agriculture. And one of those patents, those inventions, was this one right here, which was inspired by his wife's sewing machine. And it was a farming device that had interchangeable parts.
Next up on our list is the man, the myth, the legend, George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver did not invent the peanut, that was the big guy, or peanut butter, but he did find over 325 uses for the peanut, aka legume, revolutionizing the entire industry.
Patricia Bath was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2022 and was the first black woman physician to receive a medical patent. Her invention, the laser phaco, a new device and technique for removing cataracts.
Dr. Gladys West, a Virginia State University graduate who went on to work at the Naval Surface Warfare Center for over 40 years, she came up with many, many amazing things. But the crazy thing and the most amazing thing she did is she figured out the gravitational and tidal forces on our planet. And she figured out the mathematical computations. And what this led to is pinpoint accuracy of GPS.
Familiar with blood banks and blood mobiles, then thank Dr. Charles Drew of the illustrious Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Dr. Drew created a way for us to not only preserve blood, but to transport it, which was very important during World War II, which saved countless numbers of lives. Unfortunately, African Americans at that time were not allowed to actually donate blood, but that was reversed in 1942 when the Red Cross allowed it, except that blood was still segregated. Dr. Charles Drew then resigned in protest. Sadly, Dr. Charles Drew would actually die in 1950 in a car accident.
One of my favorite inventors of all time, Frederick McKinley Jones. He was orphaned at 11 years old with a 6th grade education, and he went on to change our world. Not only did he patent the movie ticket dispensing machine, he created a pre-runner of the snowmobile and the portable x-ray machine. He also created mobile refrigeration, which gave the world Thermo King, which is how we transport frozen items from point A to point B. And he received over 60 patents in his lifetime.
If you like breadcrumbs in your salad, then you're going to love Joseph Lee. Born in 1849, he spent the first 10 years of his life in slavery. He then went on to be a blacksmith in the Civil War and then served as a steward in the U.S. Coast Survey. Now, as a steward, he was a cook and a baker. And it was the baking that changed everything. A self-taught entrepreneur, Lee created a device that was a kneading device that helped streamline the baking process and create more uniform bread. With a lot more bread, he started looking around and seeing that there's a lot actually going to waste. And so, even though it may be a day old or a little stale, he's like, you know what, there's something that can be done about this. And so he created the breadcrumber.
James West holds over 250 national and international patents. He's most famously known for the electric microphone, and over 90% of microphones in use today are based upon his technology.
One of the best-selling toys of all time and a water gun that changed the world, the Super Soaker, was actually invented by a nuclear engineer and a graduate of Tuskegee University, Lonnie Johnson.
Now let's talk about Ned. We don't actually know his last name because Ned was an enslaved black American man, and he came up with the idea of the double cotton scraper. But the man who enslaved him, Oscar Stewart, tried to patent that idea, but because he couldn't prove that he came up with it, he couldn't receive the patent. And because Ned was an enslaved man, he couldn't prove citizenship, America.
Thomas Jennings was the first African American to receive a patent in the United States for dry scouring, which is today what we call dry cleaning. In 1820, he applied for the patent and had to take an oath to swear that he was actually a citizen of the United States. Now, he was a freeman, so he was a citizen. Upon his death, Frederick Douglass wrote that the patent recognized his citizenship.
I told you about Ned, but let me tell you about Madam C.J. Walker, one of the first American women to be a self-made millionaire. She built a hair product company that became an international conglomerate. And she was so successful because she invested back in her business and the communities that supported her. And she actually went to President Woodrow Wilson in 1917 to demand that we make lynching a crime.
If you like working from home, then thank Marion Croak, the inventor of the Voice over the Internet protocol. She's the one who kept us all connected during COVID. Walt Disney's most prolific inventor is Laney Smoot. He has 106 patents and counting. And one of my personal favorites is the extendable lightsaber. And he has been revolutionizing the film industry. And one of those inventions is this right here, the holotile floor technology, which allows actors to be on stage, stand on the floor, and walk and move in any direction without ever actually moving.
This concludes our tour at the National Inventors Hall of Fame here in Alexandria, Virginia, where this is like a living, breathing database of some of the most brilliant and American genius in our country's history.
So, what are we going to talk about next?
Everybody around the world copies African Americans and then yet disrespects them. GPS is a black woman. Well, 3D imaging is a black woman. Laser eye surgery is a black woman. Escalators a black inventor. Elevators a black inventor. The roller coaster, the cell phone, our video games is Jerry Lawson. Mary Van Brighton in 1966, she invented the home security. You're talking about open heart surgery, Daniel Hale. Plasma, Charles Drew. We can keep going. Surgical equipment. Black people inventing, just constantly inventing, and they took everything and lied. And black people are still thriving. Black
black women have the highest degrees in America. These are the same women that were operated on with no anesthesia, but they're #1 in academics. Atrocities that African Americans have been through, I'm surprised we are this peaceful.
Black people also invented GPS, technically navigation, ambulances, Wi-Fi, the baby buggy, home security systems, ranch dressing, super soakers, 3D movies, over 300 uses for the peanut. Let that sink in. 300 inventions on a peanut. Flour, paste, insulation, wallboard, wood stains, soap, shaving cream, lotion, blood transfusions, elevator doors, maxi pads, the modern air conditioner, Nerf guns, spatulas, your literal cell phone that you're watching this on, ironing boards, laser eye surgery, the folding chair, shout out to Alabama, country and rock music, I know that one stings, the modern toilet, the golf tee, keychains, cash register, shoe soles, VR gaming systems, adjustable wrenches, the rotary engine.
If you're really going to be a racist, then you should be a true racist and not use anything or be involved with anything that was invented or created by blacks. Do you want a list? The ironing board, the refrigerator, the baby carriage, the shoemaking machines, the traffic signal, the incandescent light bulb, the folding bed, the mailbox, air conditioning, elevator. You want me to go on?
This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated circuit, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything.
We? We.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Furaha. If you're watching me for the first time, thank you so much for choosing to be here today. Thank you for watching this video to this point, and I really appreciate your time and effort that you've put in this. Guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, if you're seeing me for the first time, never been to this channel before, I'm kindly requesting you to subscribe to my channel, be part of this amazing family, be part of us, join us, be family with us. Now, returning subscribers, if you have been here for a few days, or you've been here since we started, thank you so much for the support. I really don't take any of you for granted. You have been giving me like enough support. I do not have an excuse for not making it on this channel, for not getting to the point that I want to get, for getting that silver button. I do not have an excuse, because you people have been amazing. You have shown me a lot of kindness. You have been there for me, subscribing to my channel, liking the video, sharing to your friends, families, leaving comments, all the kind of support that I would need, and I really appreciate you for that. Now guys, on today's video we are talking about black people and the black inventions. Now this is not one of the favorite things for white people to talk about. It's not one of the videos they'd want to watch, because they have always wanted black people to be termed as useless, as though they do not matter, as though they do not have any meaningful ideas in the world. Now, I have said it countless times that there's times where white people have met in a boardroom and discussed how they should get to eliminate like half the population of black people. Now, that might sound crazy, it might sound as if it's a joke, but just know that it happened and it's true. They planned that, and immediately after that, there was a lot of other things that happened. Let me not become that kind of a person, but no, after those discussions, then we had COVID, and yeah, let me not become a conspiracy theorist. Guys, white people don't like to talk about black inventions, because they dread the fact that black people can be useful, that they too need black people for the things that they do. They hate the fact that black people have taken a big role in making the world the way that it is, making the world a better place. Now that upsets them, because their systems have taught them so. They have taught them to believe that they are superior, that they are everything that this world needs, and that black people do not matter. It doesn't matter in what sector, in what area, that black people come second after them. Now, when they find out that they actually stole some of these patents from black people, it upsets them because that is not a reality they want to live with. It's not a reality they want to believe. Yeah. They have been sold to lies, a lot of lies, talking about everything that is in this world, anything useful, yeah, it was made by white people. Now, the reality is that these things were made by black people, and for some of them, they never really got to even become wealthy from the things that they invented. And for the most cases, those patents were stolen, and white people stole rights of black people to own these things. Now, that is a sad reality, and they do not want to interact with that kind of truth because they are not ready to accept it. They are not ready to, take it in, to digest the idea that black people can be excellent, that black people can be successful, that black people, given an opportunity, given the same circumstances and conditions that white people are given, they can amount to something, and something more useful than even the white people. Now, they do not like to think like that. They do not like to believe that that is a possibility. And they have taught their children and made sure that any offspring that they have had will always believe that whites are superior and then black people are inferior. And that goes as far as even the mental processing, yeah? They want people to believe that black people are less, even in intelligence, they cannot uh, build things, they cannot create. And they have stolen these things from black people to make sure that they do not distort that kind of image that they have built for themselves, the image they have falsely created for themselves, to show that they are superior, to show that they are all the world needs, while the whole time black people have taken an active role, an active part in making this world the beautiful place that it is. Now, you have heard all the inventions that black people have made, and you have seen how they are listed. And I'm thankful to the white people that come out to talk and speak for black people, because I'm sure you have seen in the videos the white people that have come out to educate their own, to school their own on the things that they have been lied to, the things that they have as information which is false. Yeah. They are helping them to realize that they need to give black people an opportunity, a chance. They need to listen to black people, because most of these black people are actually brilliant human beings that, if given an opportunity, if given chance, they can amount to something, and they can actually shock the world. Now, we are in 2026, and many things have happened. Black people have shined in a lot of sectors in this world. Talk about the health sector, the internet, all those things, all the important things that humans need in today's world. Black people have been shining over there, and they have made white people to realize that it is just a matter of chance. If black people are given the same opportunities as white people, then they can really become the best version of themselves. Now, all these problems of black people not being able to do a lot of things is because they have not been given equity, they have not been given equal opportunities. There's no, no one is being held accountable for harming black people. And so all these things play a part, a huge role in making black people the way that they are. Now, guys, I know you have your thoughts, ideas, and anything that you think after watching this video. I know for some of you, you know other things that black people invented, and you want the world to know, yeah? It is our time to shine. It's our time to be proud of the things and the milestones that black people have overcome to get to where they are right now. Please note the things that have not been mentioned in the video. Leave a comment, tell us what you know that black people invented, and this is not for black people only. You can also, you as a white person, leave a comment of the thing that you know so well that it's a black person that invented, and let us engage in the comment section. Let us learn, read the comments, get to know these things, so that you can be able to educate your children, to educate your family, your friends. Let black people know who they are. Let them realize that history has them in a good place, and that if they put in effort, they will always be genius. They will always be successful like the other black people have proven. Yeah, so it's a possibility, and black people only need a chance. They only need to be given the support, and they will come out victorious. So guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly consider subscribing, be part of this amazing family. Those that have been here for a very long time, thank you so much guys. I don't take that for granted. Thank you for the massive support. Thank you for liking my videos, for sharing them, for leaving comments, for giving me a super thanks, for giving me thumbs ups. Yeah, I really appreciate each and every one of you for the support that you give me. You know, on YouTube, that is the kind of support that you need from your audience, and you people have done nothing less than that, and I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. I hope that you're also taking care of yourself from wherever you're watching me from. I don't know what time you're watching me, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Take care of yourselves, be a brother's keeper, be kind to yourself, love yourself a little bit more today, and I hope that this day becomes a blessing, a super blessing to you, to your family, to your friends. Guys, I'll see you on my next video. Bye for now.